and welcome to the 49th airport update of the Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. We're almost at the big 5-0, so that'll be the next update, and I guess we'll probably try and do something special for it, considering that it is 50. But yes, today we are back here. We'll be starting on the RJ section today, where we have this lineup of four aircraft here in the A concourse. So beginning on the far left of your screen right there, we have the Delta Connection Bombardier Southwest Mitsubishi CRJ 900. This one was operated by SkyWest and arrived in from Appleton, Wisconsin. We're staying overnight and then heading out to Columbus. In the middle here, we have the SkyWest house livery CRJ 900 operating for Delta. This one arrived in from Albany, and it will be heading out to Hibbing, Minnesota. Delta is still using these SkyWest CRJ 700s. They've been using these ever since they retired the CRJ 200s, just to kind of make up for the lost aircraft that they had that after the retired CRJ 200s. So we're seeing a lot of these SkyWest House CRJ 700s still. Next up here, we have the Gemini Jets CRJ 900 here for Delta. And this one has arrived in from Williston, and it will be heading out to South Bend, Indiana. This is also SkyWest operated. Finally here, we have this Endeavor operated CRJ 900 right here. This one arrived in from Wausau, Wisconsin, and it will be heading out to New York JFK. So quite the small aircraft to be heading out to JFK there, but that is what we have for the CRJ 900. So nice start here with this beautiful lineup of RJs, and so that's all we have in the A concourse today. Now we'll head over to the B concourse. And now, welcome to the B concourse. Our only aircraft over here is this aircraft, and now for longtime viewers in the channel, this may be kind of nostalgic, as this aircraft, before I got the Shapeways Custom Dornier 328, this was my Denver Air Connection model that I would substitute in. And it is returned for Denver Air Connection today, although not filling in for a Dornier 328. Today it is actually filling in for an E145. Denver Air Connection started a new route from MSP, new EAS route to Pierre, South Dakota. It's thrice weekly, I believe, so that is very cool to see right there. Pierre, South Dakota, and that is our third Denver Air Connection route, adding on to what we already had with Thief River Falls and Ironwood, so that is very good to see right there. And now we also get the E145 service as well as the Dornier 328, so even more aircraft varieties, so who's to complain about that? So very nice right there, and glad to get this model in here, even though it's not, I guess, super accurate, except for the aircraft type. The livery isn't accurate, of course. This is the retro American Eagle E145. Of course, these are all have been repainted / retired, so this is, I can kind of just use it in the place of the Denver Air Connection E145. They look kind of similar because they both have a base color of white, so that's my reasoning for why I'm having to use this aircraft here. But maybe I'll get a Shapeways custom E145, but probably not. I'm pretty happy with just having the Dornier 328 because that's what we get in here most often. But like I said, good to get some more aircraft variety in here and getting some more action going on at the B concourse. Alright, now moving on into our Embraer aircraft here in the C concourse. Beginning on the left of your screen there, we have the Shapeways Custom Embraer E175 for Delta Connection. This aircraft is SkyWest operated and arrived in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you'll be heading back out there on the turnaround today. Our next aircraft right here is our first of two Gemini Jets, E175s. This one is also SkyWest operated and arrived in from Pittsburgh, and you'll be heading out to Green Bay later tonight. Alright, continuing on here to our second of two Gemini Jets, Delta Connection Embraer E175s right here. What a pleasure it is to have two of these aircraft. So glad the Gemini Jets released this one. It enhanced the realism a lot here at MSP and plenty of other people's model airports, so that is great to see right there. This aircraft arrived in from Rapid City, South Dakota, just pulled into the gate actually, and you can see the bags there are getting loaded off now. So yeah, this one arrived from Rapid City. We'll be heading out to Washington Dulles. And then our next aircraft here is this Delta 737-900. And this one arrived in from Tampa, or TPA Spotter 11's airport. And you'll be heading out to San Francisco later today. The actual aircraft was actually in the Spirit of Seattle livery, so that's pretty cool, right? Or, well, not the livery, but with the little sticker in front. So that is very fun right there for this Delta 737-900. This model actually is making its second appearance in airport. This is the new Gemini Jets release that I recently picked up. So very nice right there. Doesn't have the Spirit of Seattle sticker in front, obviously, but it is worth noting. This is a pretty new model, at least, right here. So that is very nice. All right, now to round up the C concourse here, we have two more aircraft right here. So we'll begin with the Delta A319 right there on the left of your screen right there. This one arrived in from New York LaGuardia, and it will be heading out to Missoula later today. And finally here we have this Delta A220-100 right here, and this one arrived in from Chicago O'Hare, and it will be heading out to Boston later tonight. Very nice right there. Very busy C concourse, as per usual, I suppose. But nice to get some more variety in here with the mainline aircraft as well as all the E-175s. Lovely to see. All right, and now moving in to the relatively busy D concourse here. It has 2 of the gates filled out of 4, and there are 5 in real life, but 4 in my replica right here. So beginning in the back there, we have the Delta 717-200. This one arrived in from St. Louis, Missouri, and it will be heading out to Charlotte Douglas International Airport later today. And then our next aircraft right here is the beautiful new NG Models Delta A320. And this one arrived in from New Orleans, and it'll be heading out to Washington Reagan National DCA. And now into the E-gates, beginning here with this United 737-800. This one arrived in from Chicago O'Hare and is on the turnaround today back out to Chicago. All right, now into the American action here at Terminal 1. We'll begin with the American 737-800 right there. This one arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth, or Red River Aviation's airport, and he'll be heading back out there today on the turnaround. And then next to that one here, we have this American A321 in the Stand Up to Cancer livery, filling in for a regular livery A321, of course. And this one arrived in from Charlotte Douglas, and it will be heading back out there on their turnaround here for this beautiful A321 right here. So unfortunately, these are backlit. It always happens with the American aircraft because they're just like at the corner of the airport, at the corner of the table. So unfortunately, I can't really put my camera down on nothing. So it's just a tough angle to get at, really. So that is why these aircraft always get kind of a lousy angle here, which is unfortunate because these two are really, really beautiful models right here. Both NGs, and they did a phenomenal job, especially with the color on the American 738. So unfortunately, these are backlit, but we should get better lighting for the rest of the aircraft here in this update, hopefully. And yeah, it's just tough because we're in a basement here, so we don't get a whole lot of natural light, and then my big spotlight here doesn't really hit these aircraft very well at all. It's kind of just coming from on top. So that's just unfortunately the situation right here. So I guess we'll try our best with the rest of the aircraft here, but unfortunately can't get the good lighting on all of them. Just pushed back here is this United Express UN-75. This one, it will be heading out to Houston, Texas, and it also arrived in from there. So this one is the turnaround as well. Looking very nice right here, the E175. The E175s, they use Echo 5 and Echo 8, and this one pushed out of Echo 5, which you can see the number right there. So what they do is, I mentioned this before, they have to be in front of that line there because the terminal building is back there, so they have to pull it or push it back and then pull it forward, so it doesn't blow away the terminal when they start the engines. So that's pretty cool right there, I guess. Little Easter egg that you get when you're at Echo 3, Echo 1, or Foxtrot 1 and Foxtrot 3. I guess Foxtrot 5 and Echo 5 as well. It would happen. So that's pretty fun right there. So that's what we see right here with this United Express E175. Oh, by the way, this is operated by Mesa. And now into the Delta gates here. A whole string of Delta aircraft. So strap yourselves in because it's going to be a lot. Beginning here in the F concourse with the Delta 737-900 there on the left of your screen. That's the NG models version right there. This one arrived in from Las Vegas. I'll be heading out to Salt Lake City. And next up right here, front and center, we have this Delta 737-800. Not a very common aircraft here at MSP, but it is becoming slightly more common now. Like last year, you wouldn't see any of these, and now in the summer season, we do see a fair amount. And well, here you obviously see one right here. So this one arrived in from Sarasota, Florida, and you'll be heading out to Boise, Idaho. So we have two very interesting routes right there, and on the lovely 737-800 here for Delta. How about this Delta A220-300? This one arrived in from Austin, Texas, and it will be getting loaded up here for the service out to San Antonio, Texas. So, pair Texas routes. We do see Texas a lot on the A220s. Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. I believe they're all on the A220 for Delta, so that's pretty fun right there. If you're going to be flying to Texas with Delta, there's a good chance you're going to be on one of these aircraft. So, at least from MSP, I shouldn't speak for all the other Delta hubs, but if you're flying to Texas from MSP, then there's a decent shot you'll be on one of these Delta A220s, which is, I think that's a pretty good deal. Very lovely aircraft that Delta flies. I love the A220. I mean, I've only flown it with Air Baltic, but love to try Deltas one day. It is a very quiet aircraft, and it is a very nice aircraft to fly on. And check out this Delta A321 right here. This one arrived in from Fort Myers, Florida, and we'll be heading out to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The actual aircraft was this aircraft that we see modeled here, 302 Delta November, and that was the actual aircraft that flew on this flight. One of the first A321s that Delta received here, so that is gorgeous right there. Beautiful model. This is the 2017 Gemini Jets release. Now it does have a SATCOM dome. Of course, it didn't back then, as you don't see it here on this model, but nowadays it does have that SATCOM dome. So cool to see the progression for Delta right there. So, but yeah, glad to get this model in here and on the actual aircraft. So that is perfect right there. And right here we have our Delta 757-200. This one arrived in from Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson or Citrus Aviation's airport. And I'll be heading out to LAX. So a good pair of Delta hubs right there for the 757-200. This is with the Mariano Rivera Hall of Fame sticker up in front. You can't really see it, but this is the 2022 NG models release, I believe. It is a very beautiful model right here. Love to get it in these airport updates, and it makes another appearance here at MSP. All right, and our next aircraft right here, you normally don't see a CRJ 900 on this side of the airport, but here it is right here for this Delta Connection CRJ 900 operated by Endeavor. It's being following the Follow Me car right there, even though you don't really see that at all. You don't see that MSP these days, that's for certain. So we'll zoom it in on the aircraft right here. This one, like I said, Endeavor operated. This one arrived in from Grand Forks, and this one will be heading out to Wausau later. So this one just arrived on 30 left. This one just arrived in and is now taxiing to its gate all the way on the A concourse. This one's going to have a long taxi, pretty much the opposite side of the airport, so that's a little rough for the passengers. Normally those arrive on 30 right, so I'm not sure why it was the other side this time, but that's quite interesting for this aircraft. So a long taxi, so that's unfortunate for the passengers, but they get some nice plane spotting, am I right? Our next aircraft today is this beautiful Delta 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. What a gorgeous model right here, and good to get it back on an airport update finally. So this aircraft has actually been upgraded with split scimitars now, as Delta is now doing that to their 737-800, so that's an interesting development right now. So this model, I guess, isn't super accurate anymore, as now it does have the split scimitars, but still wanted to get it in here, as the actual aircraft that is operating this flight did have the split scimitars. It arrived in from Puerto Vallarta, and it will be heading out to Spokane later. So quite the contrasting destinations, those two places right there. But you love to see it on this beautiful aircraft right here. So glad to get this one in here. We've got both of our 737-800 models in this airport update. So that is what we love to see right there. And a gorgeous model right here by NG Models, of course. And next up here in the G concourse, we have this A350-900 right here. This one arrived in from Seoul Incheon, and we'll be heading back out there. That is our one and only A350 route still. So yeah, I guess you could probably guess where this one was going, but here it is once again. Lovely, lovely model right here, And so yeah, glad that Seoul's continuing here through the winter, and hoping for a big summer as well. And that's a lovely flight right there. Glad that we can at least have one A350 service to MSP. Even though, I mean, I think Tokyo should also be on the A350, but what are you gonna do? It is a lovely aircraft, so beautiful. One of my favorite aircraft flying around these days. So glad to see it when we can, even though it was only through Seoul. How about this gorgeous Delta A330-900 Neo right here? This one is in from Amsterdam Schiphol, and you'll be heading out to Tokyo Haneda later. This is the Phoenix model's version of the Delta A350-900 Neo, and it is a lovely model. And so yeah, glad to include it back here at MSP. We see a whole bunch of 330-900 Neos here from the likes of Amsterdam, Tokyo primarily. Also, occasionally Paris. That one bounces back between the 330-300 and the Neo. But yeah, love to get this one in here. Another beautiful aircraft that Delta operates in here. Love getting all these Airbus wide bodies in here. It is spectacular to see. So great job by Delta, I guess. And lovely model right here. And here we have another 330-900 Neo, because why not? This one is the Team USA 330-900 Neo. And this one arrived in from Tokyo Haneda, and this will be heading out to Amsterdam, so the reciprocal of the previous one. Yeah, gorgeous model here. Again, lovely to see these 330-900 Neos. Some beautiful aircraft, and especially in the special livery. You'll love to see it. Of course, the actual aircraft wasn't in this livery, but I'm just utilizing all I have for my 330 Neos, and love to get these in here. You see them pretty much in every update just because they're so common here, but they are some beautiful models by both Phoenix and Gemini jets, so they did a great job. So now rolling into some 321 action right here. We'll begin on the boundary screen there where we have the Delta A321 Neo. This aircraft arrived in from Seattle, Tacoma, and we'll be heading out back there on the turnaround, one of our few A321 Neo routes. Really only LAX, Seattle, and then occasionally we get like an Orlando or like an Atlanta in there as well, but mostly just LAX and Seattle. I wish we had more, but yeah, good to get the 321 Neo in here. Another gorgeous aircraft that I would love to fly in real life someday. And behind that one here we have this Delta 321. This is a CO, and this one arrived in from Detroit Metro, and you'll be heading out to Las Vegas later today. Yet another 321 here. This one is the Delta A321 in the Thank You livery. This one arrived in from Bozeman, Montana. It'll be heading out to Fort Myers, Florida. And then behind that one, we have the beautiful 757-300. How can you go wrong with this guy? This one arrived in from Phoenix Sky Harbor, and you'll be heading out to Orlando. Phoenix, also Red River Aviation's airport. We'll be heading out to Orlando in Florida. So another two very common routes from MSP on the 757-300 here. So if you want to fly on this aircraft, Phoenix or Orlando, probably your best bets right there. Is this one. Very common visitor to those two airports from MSP. And yet another Las Vegas flight here with the 737-900. So the last update of the theme was Fort Myers and Orlando, and this update is just Las Vegas, because we've seen this is like the third or fourth Delta aircraft that is either coming in or heading out to Vegas. So here it is, the 737-900 arrived in from Las Vegas, and you'll be heading out to Philadelphia later today. So a nice little mix up there with some Philly action, but yeah, more Vegas. It's getting it has the lavatory truck behind it, which I suppose is appropriate after a flight from Vegas. They would have to clean that out, so that's there, and they'll get service for its flight out to Phoenix later tonight. I think we're all ready for a break from the Delta monotony, so here's this Allegiant A320. I don't remember the last time we had Allegiant in an airport update here, because they don't fly in a whole bunch of days, but Sunday is like their big day here, so here it is. Here's the Allegiant A320 right here. This one is just taking off for the flight out to Sarasota, Florida, and also arrived in from there, so this is a turnaround here. But yeah, nice to get the A320 in here. Pretty new model as well right here. So lovely to see this one. This is in the old livery. The actual aircraft was in the new livery. So I guess it is a little bit inaccurate right there, but yeah, so heading out to Sarasota, and they also Allegiant, they fly a ton of routes into MSP. There's not very frequently, I guess, in the week. A lot of them are just like 1 or 2 days in the week, but yeah, a lot on Sunday. They also have West Palm Beach. I remember Knoxville being a route. Those are the main two that stick out in my head. Phoenix Mesa as well. Yeah, Allegiant has a ton of interesting routes from MSP, but they don't fly them too frequently, so we don't really see them very often in these airport updates, because mostly my filming days are I guess the dates that I set up these airports, because I have the most free time, are Saturdays. So I normally don't get all the Sunday flights, or like especially like flights in the middle of the week. You don't really see those too often here, at least while I'm in during the school year, because I have school stuff that I have to do instead of setting up airports. So I really only set up like what it looks like on Saturdays, but yeah, I got to get some Sunday action here, a little bit of variety in here, and that is highlighted here with this Allegiant A320. And I'm glad that the best lighting of the airport update is hitting this aircraft right here. It is the Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8 in the Imua One livery. What a beautiful aircraft right here, in the best lighting that we'll see today. So this is absolutely perfect. This one arrived in from Phoenix Sky Harbor. It'll be heading out to Denver. It's currently taxiing out. So this will be taken off on runway 30 left. We'll be heading out to Denver. So that is absolutely wonderful right there. We'll just take some time to absorb the majesticness of this aircraft right here. Super cool livery by Southwest, and NG Models did a fantastic job of replicating it right here. So yeah, I guess it's kind of ironic that's heading out to Denver, because that is definitely not what it would be like flying to Hawaii. Definitely the climate is a little bit different in Denver than in Hawaii, so I guess a bit ironic that it's this livery that's flying out to Denver out of all places, but it's going to attract a crowd wherever it goes. So what a lovely model right here. So yeah, glad that Energy Model's made it, and glad that we can get it in some good lighting here, in the little bit of natural light that we have in here. So yeah, that's just perfect right there. Perfect timing, and what a beautiful model. I'm going to move on now before I keep rambling about this guy, but what a beautiful model. The lighting also isn't lost on this Southwest 737 MAX 8. This one in the regular livery. This one has arrived in from Chicago Midway, and it will be heading back out there on the turnaround. So very beautiful pair of Southwest MAXes right here, whether it be in the regular livery or, of course, the beautiful special liveries. It always looks great. So I'm glad that we got at least a little bit of decent lighting in this airport update, because obviously natural light is going to be the spotlight 10 times out of 10, and once again it does that. So thanks, Mr. Sun. Thanks for doing your job today, giving me just a little bit of light through my tiny little windows in this basement. But yeah, at least we got some good lighting on probably the two most colorful aircraft in the airport today. So I guess that kind of, if there are going to be only two aircraft that can get good lighting, these are probably the two that it should be. And for the rest of Terminal 2, we'll kind of just do it in sections here. So for those aircraft parked at the gates. So we'll begin with the Sun Country 737-800 there on the bottom of your screen right there. This one is in the Transavia Hybrid livery. It is filling in for an Arial Text font livery 737-800. This one arrived in from Fort Myers, Florida, and it'll be heading out to, it was staying overnight actually, and then heading out to Miami in the morning of the 19th. Behind that one there, we have this Frontier A321. This is in the Cubby the Bear livery. Filling in for A321neo, though. Someone has to make the Frontier A321neo the model that I most want to be made right now. Whoever can do it, I will definitely pick a model up right away. So I'm really hoping that can get made soon by anybody, really. Aero Classics, NG Models, Gemini Jets, and definitely would be a very popular model, because I know a lot of other collectors who are really wanting that model. Anyways, this aircraft arrived in from Cancun, and you'll be heading out to Denver. So yeah, another appearance for the Cancun flight for Frontier. Um, I'm glad that has been working out for them, as they are also competing with Sun Country and Delta for that one. And of course, Frontier are not the hub airline here, but at least we have. I'm glad at least that we, yeah, I'm glad that we at least have some variety on the Cancun flight, so it's not just Delta and Sun Country. Frontier doing great with the competition on that one, and good to get it on some A321 Neo action here. Of course, I wish I had the model to represent that, but what can you do? And now we just have this array of Sun Country aircraft here, all in the Tide Pod livery. We've not seen this yet in an airport update where all three of my Tide Pod aircraft are all lined up like this. So had to get this in here because this is just perfect. So beginning on the far left of your screen right there, we had the Sun Country 737-800. This is in the Tide Pod livery with split scimitars. This one arrived in from Puerto Vallarta. We're heading out to Orlando. So 2 more vacation destinations that we keep seeing repeated here. I mean, it is that time of year where we see just Delta and Sun Country basically competing for how many flights they can send to random city in Mexico or random city in Florida. And that's pretty much just the race at this point. But it is, I mean, it is that time of year. We're going to see a whole bunch of vacation destination flights. But what are you going to do? It's kind of fun to see. In the middle here, we have this 737-800 split scimitars with a 40 years of flight sticker on it. This one is actually doing the same thing that the Frontier 321 Neo was doing. Came in from Cancun, we're heading out to Denver, so that's pretty funny right there. Although Frontier is winning in this case because the Sun Country flight out to Denver was delayed by over an hour, so definitely a win for the Frontier passengers there. So Sun Country kind of took the L there. And then finally here we have the blended winglet 737-800. This one arrived in also from Cancun. It'll be heading back out there. That was an overnight turn back out to Cancun, so I guess more monotony with Sun Country. What are you gonna do though? So all those flights to Mexico, but I guess that's pretty cool to see international flights, a whole bunch of international flights for Sun Country, because you'd think of them more as a domestic airline, but 3 of our 4 Sun Country flights in today's update are all international arrivals. So that's interesting, I guess, but kind of boring in terms of the routes. Nothing, too crazy out there, because Sun Country, they have some pretty crazy routes, if I do say so myself, but all of those, not really. You kind of expect Sun Country to have those, but what are you going to do, I guess? 3 beautiful aircraft right here, all in the Tide Pod livery. Great to have so many Tide. There was a time, and the long-time viewers of the channel, they remember, where I did not have any Sun Country Tide Pod, I really didn't have any Sun Country aircraft at all, and trying to do these MSP airport updates was kind of a pain when I didn't have any Sun Country aircraft. Now we're sitting pretty on Sun Countries, and I mean, this is just beautiful scenes right here at Terminal 2. Into our cargo aircraft right here, we have this FedEx 767-300 here. This one arrived in from Memphis, the FedEx Super Hub, and you'll be heading back out to Memphis today. Yeah, gorgeous to get this one in the sun here. Don't have a lot of sunlight down here, but when we have it, we're going to utilize it. And so here's the gorgeous FedEx 767-300, one of my recent pickups, actually, from the airplane shop. This one has made, I think, only one appearance in an airport update as well. So here's this wonderful model by Gemini Jets. And our final aircraft today is this UPS 767-300 right here, filling in for an A300. This one arrived in from Louisville. We'll be heading back out there. And so, yeah, that'll do it for our 49th MSP airport update. Hope you enjoyed this one. Whole bunch of Delta action here. Got some interesting aircraft at Terminal 2, which is always fun to see. And so, yeah, thank you all for checking this one out. I hope you enjoyed this airport update. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.